What's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another meal prep on a budget video. Today taking you through one of my favorite whole foods meal preps: 30 grams of protein, 90 grams of carbs and 10 grams of fat. This is a meal I have probably 4 times a week for my pre or post workout meal. It's very easily digestible, it's not too heavy on the system, so it's perfect for fueling intense gym sessions and recovering from them. So for this meal prep, here's what you're going to need. Firstly, we have some quinoa, some spices, cumin, paprika and coriander, then 2 tins of kidney beans, some tamari soy sauce, garden peas and some linseeds, and that is everything. Prices for this meal prep, we're looking at £4 for 500 grams of quinoa, 17p for the 20 grams of linseeds. We're going to be using 60p for the 400 grams of peas, 60p for the 2 tins of beans, plus the cost of spices and seasoning works out to £5.50 in total, which is £1.38 per meal or $1.72 if you're in the US. First things first, we're going to measure out the quinoa on a food scale. Quinoa is a fantastic source of complete protein and also contains a good amount of manganese, so I would definitely recommend you include it in your diet. For this meal prep, I'm going to weigh out 500 grams or thereabouts. Let me just remove a few grams. 501, that'll do. We can then pop the quinoa into a large saucepan before measuring out the garden peas. Here we're going to be shooting for 400 grams. Measurements don't need to be too exact, I'll just take out a few grams to get as close as we can. 401, that's close enough. An extra gram of garden peas never killed anyone. Or did it? Who knows? And then the final item to measure out is the linseeds, aka flax seeds. The reason we're including these is to ensure ample ALA intake, which our bodies can then convert into long chain fatty acids, EPA and DHA. Don't worry too much about the science, just know that they're very good for you and you always want to get enough omega-3s in your diet. The next step is to fill up the kettle. For quinoa, I always start with less water and slowly add more, simply because I prefer it to be al dente as opposed to soggy quinoa that is just flooded with water. So I'll start with, say, 2 cups of boiling water, add that to the quinoa, just like that, and then pop the heat on. Here is where we want to add our trio of spices. So we have 1 teaspoon of coriander, a teaspoon of cumin, and finally 1 teaspoon of paprika. Give all those spices a mix, and now we can add a little bit more water to the quinoa just to cover it over. As I said, not overdoing the water before turning the heat up and bringing it to the boil. Once it's boiling, pop the lid on and turn the heat down. Whilst that is cooking, we can get started on the peas and the beans. First things first, drain the beans of the bean juice. That stuff will leave you gassy for days if you don't drain and rinse it off. Chuck the 2 tins of beans into another large saucepan and then add the peas before popping the heat on and giving it all a good mix. For flavouring, I like to use a couple of tablespoons of tamari soy sauce. The sauce you use is entirely up to you, just mix it all in to make sure everything's equally salty. And then, just like we did with the quinoa, pop the lid on, turn the heat down and let it cook for 5 to 10 minutes. After that, everything will be ready. Firstly, we have the bean and pea combo, that's looking nice now, and also the quinoa, which is now cooked to perfection, nice and fluffy but not too soggy. And now it is finally time to serve up. In each of these 4 meals, guys, we're looking at 30 grams of complete protons, 10 grams of healthy fat, and 90 grams of performance-enhancing carbohydrates. Final ingredient to add is the linseeds. Just sprinkle them equally amongst the 4 meals. And there you have it, simple whole foods meal prep, ideal for those looking to lose fat and build muscle. If you are looking to transform your physique and would like a fully customized meal plan, feel free to head over to veganphysique.co.uk. I'll be more than happy to help you out and work alongside you to ensure you achieve your physique goals. Otherwise, that is it for this installment. Plenty more content coming your way, guys. Please do click the bell to ensure you're notified about all my uploads. Drop this video a like and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.